University of Allahabad, Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, India, in collaboration with Qatar University, Kabul, Afghanistan. This time we are blessed with 3 eminent speakers, 2 on today and 1 on 22nd February. Before I introduce the speakers, let me commence our today's event with the verbalizing, scintillating glory of both the universities. As our university students know, motto of our university is Kot Rami Tot Orbos, as many branches as many trees. So I would like to introduce about the University of Allahabad first. It was established in 1887, one of the oldest modern universities in the country, also known as Oxford of the East. Its central university status was restored by University of Allahabad Act 2005 of the Parliament of India. The university has on its roll a host of politicians and statesmen, including 1 president and 2 vice presidents of India, 2 former prime ministers, several union and state ministers, at least 4 chief justices of the Supreme Court, besides a large number of senior bureaucrats. Notable alumni were Rajendra Prasad, Firoz Gandhi, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, Hari Vansh Rai Bachchan, Govind Vallampad, Mahadevi Verma, and many more. And today the eminent speakers are also from this university. I am really feeling so exhilarated to have them here. And let me introduce about the Qatar University. It's a pioneer private university established in 2007, located in the city of Kabul, Afghanistan. This university was accredited with the highest score, 89.74% among private universities in Afghanistan. It's doing well, very well. Qatar University has published more than 30 books, more than 35 international articles were published in different international prestigious journals, and recently 17th volume of Qatar Journal was published. Qatar University has a research center with 5 departments: Research Center, Economics and Management Research Center, Engineering and Computer Science Research, Law and Political Science Research Center, and Applied Research Center. Now, I would like to introduce our Professor A.K. Mukherjee, author, social, cultural activist, brilliant orator, participated in various national and international theater festivals as an actor and director. Now he is acting as an actor here. He has joined the university in 1979, presently Dean, Faculty of Commerce, Director of Muneba from 2017 to 2019, worked as a Dean College Development of the University, Director Advisor International Students. He has authored 50 research papers, 2 books, and completed 2 research projects even. He has supervised more than 30 research scholars for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, delivered more than 100 invited lectures as keynote and guest speaker. He has conducted management development workshops for Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Finance, SBI, LIC, BPCL, so many more. So I won't be, you can say, acting as a hindrance between the audience and our eminent speaker. He will be speaking on rehabilitation of the Indian economy in COVID-19 times. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ekta. I extend a hearty ovation to my student from University of Allahabad, Shakir Azizi. He was also leader of the Afghani students group in University of Allahabad, and where I have also worked as international students advisor for quite a long time. So we had a very nice time with Shakir and his entire group in Allahabad when he was studying here. In fact, Ekta told you all so many things about me. I do not know whether I really deserve those praises and superlative words I don't deserve. But the only thing is that this is my 42nd year of teaching in University of Allahabad, and I'm at the fag end of my career. Taught various subjects, delivered lecture on various issues. Now the question comes, this is a problem which it's not new to, it's not unique for a country like India. It is international. Only problem is that some of the countries are very badly affected. India is also very badly affected. This is true. But we have, thanks to the present government, thanks to our team of industrialists and others, sorry, those, they're working hard for rehabilitating the economy. Let us talk about what are the areas which are rightly, and to me, the worst affected area due to pandemic is education. The worst affected area. Why? Because education is always time bound. Is always time bound. And that loss of time can never be recovered. In business, in the industry, by working hard, by growing quickly, you can cover up the losses you have incurred due to pandemic. But academics cannot do that. 1 year lost is lost. If a year is lost, it's lost. This is a big issue, not only for a country like India. This problem stands true even in Afghanistan. Of course, we are now switching over to a new era. And I consider this pandemic as the opening, is the beginning of a new international era. New international era. Where things are changing. More wide contacts than person-to-person contact. Academics, of course, academics, I always consider teaching as a passion. Teaching is not a lip service. Teaching is not a lip service. It comes out from your heart. Eye-to-eye contact, person-to-person contact, face-to-face contact. That is an integral part of teaching and learning. Jokingly, I said, when I was meeting my class through this wired medium, this is just like you are playing football, or you are all alone in the football ground. You're all alone. There are only one player. And before you, there is a goal. No opponent. Keep on scoring goals after goals. Now teaching has become the same. You keep on teaching without understanding whether the students to whom you are addressing, they really follow you or not. That is a big issue. Because I told you, teaching is not a lip service. It comes from your heart. It comes from your heart, passes on to your mind, creates a new wisdom. That part is gone. Now coming over to economy. One area that was not affected because of pandemic is agriculture. Mind it, not affected. Because agriculture is primarily rural based. People are away from the problems of urban areas. Even you see the pandemic, the urban areas are the worst affected because of pandemic. Though certain rural areas are affected, but not to that extent as the urban areas are. So agriculture is an area which it has not been affected. Number one, because basic problem is that labor used for agriculture, they are all local. They're not migrated labor. They are accepting, of course, in India, there is a problem I'm talking about this place. Certain areas of northern UP, Haryana, Punjab, there are migrated agricultural labor. But in most of the places, the labor is localized. Because of localized labor, is the effect of the pandemics has reduced. Number so because of this is a very important thing. It's a very important thing. Number two, movement has not been affected. Logistics has not affected. Movement of agriculture produced from rural areas to urban areas. That logistical support continued to be there even during pandemic. And the best thing that we could see, the availability of food items, vegetable, milk was more during the pandemic than non-pandemic period. But the area which was first affected, it was medium and small scale. Medium and small scale. Because the markets are generally niche, small markets, localized markets. They produce and sell in the local market. That was the area that was very badly affected due to pandemic. The local markets, number one. So the MSME, the medium and small scale industries, the worst affected. They lost market, heavily lost market. In certain cases, it was 100% loss of market. Number two that was affected, it was employment in unorganized sector. You see, we are more concerned about the working or the labor in the organized sector. But unorganized sector is providing more employment than the organized sector. Like roadside shops, small stalls, tea vendors, dhabas, roadside restaurants, vehicle maintenance, blah, 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 blah. Mostly they are in unorganized sector. Due to pandemic and lockdown, what happened? Overnight, they were out of employment. And furthermore, there is no employment mapping in most of the countries, particularly India, there is no employment mapping. We were not knowing how many persons are working in the unorganized sector. So their rehabilitation became, or their rehabilitation is much more difficult than the rehabilitation of the urbanized sector, because we know how many workers are working, how much employment that sector has given, whom the persons are. This is a big issue. How to rehabilitate the employment in the unorganized sector. Because they are all need-based, mind it. Employment is always need-based. Take example. National highways. You must have seen national highways. Both sides of the national highways, there used to be restaurants, dhabas, mechanics. Due to lockdown, what happened? All of a sudden, they were thrown out of employment. Some of them have migrated to other places. Gradually, the movement of the national highways is increasing. Gradually, it is increasing. Because of gradual increase, of course, they are rehabilitating by their own efforts, mind it. As because the government could not do, because of there is no mapping, there is no data available. And furthermore, they used to be settled at different places. They used to move very fast from one place to another place. That was also a problem. And I am hopeful, as the things become absolutely normal, when the movement starts normally, when things start moving normally, what will happen? These unorganized sector will gradually rehabilitate. But this will take, of course, unemployment was overnight, but rehabilitation may not be overnight minded. Recently, I was traveling by road. I did face the problems. I could witness those who used to sit there, sell even a tea. They are all missing. This is one. Number two is about the migrated labor migration. It called it a reverse migration. There was a reverse migration of labor. Particularly in India, two states that used to provide labor, that is Uttar Pradesh, where we stay, and Bihar. These two states, they provide maximum labor to our economy. And we will be surprised to know that our laborers are working right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. That is the extreme north to extreme south. They're extreme west to extreme northeast. They're working. And what happened when there was lockdown? Of course, government said that stay where you are, but the problem, they said that let us go back to our villages, because in villages the unemployment was not so critical as they were in the urban areas. So there is started reverse migration. People from Maharashtra, people from Gujarat, people from Punjab, from Haryana, from Tamil Nadu, from Karnataka started re-migrating, returning back to their native places. That they have an alternative available. Government of India alternative. Manrega is available. They said Manrega is there. That ensures rural employment. So they migrated to that place. Either they were engaged in agriculture or in other schemes of the government of India, rural schemes of government of India. Because in urban areas, the businesses or the industry, they used to provide employment. So the medium, small scale industries, they closed down. Number two, not only closed down, they lost their technical hands. And furthermore, they are not so big that they can hire technical hand from other places. They are not so big. Now, when the rehabilitation started, when these small industries, they started operating. Now, first of all, they are facing problem of skilled labor. I was just talking to a person. He is in Calcutta, and he is having his own small business where he manufactures leather bags, like ladies' bags, wallets, document bags. He said we have two types of labor. One is skilled labor. They all came from Bihar. And unskilled labor. Now, what he said, that if I say that I am closing down my industry and you go back to your home, I know they will never come back. Because they are skilled, they can be absorbed in other places, at other places. They can be taken by other persons. I will lose my labor, those who understand me and my way of working. He said that even though I was at loss, I paid them their salaries. It was 4, 5, 6 skilled persons. He said that we paid them. But he said, as for the unskilled labor concerned, I said, I have option available. That if you do not work, I can hire other persons. Now, he said, I can afford. How many of them could afford? You know, in Mumbai, there is staff Dharavi. Dharavi is very popular for medium and small scale, particular small scale, full. And most of the work, whether skilled or unskilled, most of the workers, they were either from Uttar Pradesh or from Bihar. After this lockdown, there was reverse migration and they went back to their native places. Now, these medium scale industry or small scale industry, they want to restart. They say that we contacted our workers who were working first because of foe. They said that no, they will not. So these small scale industries, they are now facing labor problems. If you have new persons, then again, if you have, because if you want to rehabilitate, if you rehabilitate with if you want to rehabilitate, if you can rehabilitate better with the old workers, but you cannot rehabilitate with the new workers because they will have to be trained as per your requirements. Now, this is a big problem that most of the But as a matter of fact, another very important thing happened. Railways, the contribution of railways. Though railways were stopped, no movement of goods. And so, but railways during this period completed large number of products in India. Similarly, highways, national highways provided huge employment by completing the projects. The best thing that could happen is the financial sector. Thanks to computerization, banking sector was not affected because of pandemic. Now, what the government wanted, now people are they are switching over to e-banking. Even government is spending. How many of we were knowing about Paytm, Google Pay, even use of ATM and credit cards? That was not very popular in India. Now use of credit cards and ATMs, this has become a very common. Even you go to place Delhi, even a small vendor selling groundnuts, he said that pay me through Paytm. This is the thing. That has proved to be a blessing in disguise as far as the banking sector is concerned. So I have a few questions.
Yes, sir. We are opening up the session, and students have already posted their questions on the chat boxes. So I'll be reading out the questions for sir, and he'll be answering. Bushra has asked, what can be the tools for economic revival post-COVID-19?
What can be?
What can be the tools for economic revival post-COVID-19?
Number one, government should spend more on capital economy. Government should come forward with more capital investment. That is very important. As the present budget, the budget which was presented by Nirmala Sitharaman categorically said that we are not concerned about, don't concern about the fee of fiscal deficit. Invest more and more on capital intensive industries like construction of road, expansion of railways, dedicated fare. This is very important thing. Number two, closure of unproductive public sector companies. There are a large number of unproductive public sector companies, and government is funding them. That needs to be closed. Like Air India. What hell we people are doing with Air India? That should be, there's no problem. So for post-COVID, the government should take the initiative by spending more and more on capital intensive projects. Yes, next.
Sir, next question. Actually, some students are finding difficult to pose the question on the chat box. So I'm reading out, actually, they are sending in my private accounts. So shall I read out?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So next question is from Shaiba. Post-COVID economic recovery. Can the rich also hurt growth?
Can the
rich also hurt growth?
Hurt growth
means like riches ने क्या थोड़ा सा growth में कहीं ना कहीं पे उन्होंने effect डाला है हमारे इसमें क्या कहते हैं post COVID economic growth में?
No, not at all. You cannot say that rich and poor. It's not the question of rich and poor. Of course, this is true that there is more accumulation of wealth of the rich population. That is true. But this you cannot simply negate the contribution of rich in the economic growth. But after all, they are to spend money. They are to invest money, and they are spending money. They are coming out. It's not true. It's not true.
Okay, sir. We are running short of the time. This meeting may end in 5 minutes or so. So I'm taking only one question more.
Yes.
So the question is, what are the ways to raise additional financial resources to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic?
What are the addition is the number one? Government spending, increase in government spending, capital, that is through deficit financing. Number two, selling of unproductive public sector enterprises, very important. Third, having control over revenue expense, that is very important. In India, the overhead cost is very high. That overhead cost should be reduced. And try to spend money from your revenue account so that more and more funds may be available for expending for capital.
I'm really expressing my high gratitude towards Professor A.K. Mukherjee. Very well said by him that teaching is not a lip service. It comes from the heart. So you could hear the blazing words from his heart. And it's really viable to the present scenario. And it also, he has also mentioned the agriculture aspect, that it is a rural based, away from the urban, not affected by the urban area. Now I'm actually we are running short of the time. I suppose, Mr. Shakar, you have to generate new ID for after 10 minutes, because I'll be introducing yourself. Then you may join after with the new link, because your is not a paid version. I'm afraid, I suppose. Is it, Miss Ahmadi?
Okay, thank you.
So, Mr. Shakar, can we take some break? I'll be introducing you in the next session, because I don't, please confirm me with this. We are able to run this meeting or not for more, because it seems to be, there is time limit for 40 minutes. So we have already consumed so many minutes. You can unmute yourself. We can't hear you. We can't hear you because Upshad. Yes, Mr. Azizi.
Yeah, we can continue the session. There is no time limitation for.
Mr. Shakar, we are unable to hear you. Can you?
Are you hearing me?
We can't hear you. Actually, some of the technical आपका म्यूट हो गया है. हम लोग तो.
Hear me?
Yes. Now we can hear you. You're very much audible. Yes,
okay. Actually, when we do not have time limitation in Zoom, we can continue the session. It means there is no problem at all.
Okay, fine with it. Actually, it was being showed. We were a little bit apprehensive about it. So let me introduce the new speaker. So, Shakar Azizi, I'm sorry for bothering you so much for this.
No problem at all, ma'am. I'm very happy to have this session.
Okay, we are privileged to have the new eminent speaker, alumnus of Munirba 2013 from University of Allahabad, working in Qatar University. He's currently serving as the head of the Department of Business Administration in Qatar University, Kabul, Afghanistan. He has been a pioneer in teaching for many years, has helped enormous number of students shape and mold their careers under his guidance and leadership. And it's a good news that he would be pursuing his DPhil from our university. So he'll be speaking on education challenges and opportunities in Corona times. So I'm switching off my video and audio so that I can hear you better. Over to you, Mr. Azizi.
Thank you, ma'am, for introducing me to the audience. At the very initial moments, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our sincere appreciation, including the Qatar University Chancellor message, as well as the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Musa Jafari, and the Chancellor, Dr. Ali Ahmad Yusufi, and the Dean Faculty of Economics, Dr. Hassan Rouhani. to Professor Mukherjee, Dean Faculty of Commerce, for accepting our request to deliver this beneficial presentation. And also extend my thanks to Dr. Ekta Verma, Training and Placement Officer, Munirba, and also all respected Munirba and Allahabad University team for their innermost cooperation in the organization of this event. हमारे इंडियन फ्रेंड्स जो वहाँ हम लोग का देख रहा है, सबको स्वागत है, शुभकामनाएं है, हार्दिक है. Let me to tell you something that an event like this, it is not the just matter of one night to be happen. It took lots of times, it means weeks of communication and coordination between Khatib University and Allahabad University, especially Munirba, that we have happened this event. Dear friends, today I would like to talk regarding the education and higher education institution challenges in Corona times. There is no doubt, and this is the fact, that the coronavirus has become an international crisis around the globe, and the crisis that impacted and affected all aspects of life, whether it is a social environment, economical environment, business environments. In addition to this, education and higher education institutions, including India, Kabul, wherever, are not safe from this virus. And COVID-19 adversely affected the education and higher education institutions around the world. And based on, and according to UNESCO, education system of more than 46 countries around the globe on 5 continents have been affected, and the education system of more than 30 countries have been completely shut down. COVID-19 presents COVID-19 presents a significant challenge. COVID-19 presents a significant challenge to the education system in Afghanistan. As in countries of the world, the speed of this closure and the rapid movement and the rapid move to distance learning has allowed a little time for policymakers to come up with quick solution to the problem. Now, and let me to tell you something regarding our own country, Afghanistan, because the topic that I choose, I focus more on Afghanistan education system challenges during the Corona times. If you talk regarding our own country, Afghanistan, even before the pandemic COVID-19, Afghanistan was already fragile with a high level of poverty, migration, as well as ongoing conflict by Taliban and other groups in many provinces. The country faced tremendous and complicated challenges, including education, and according to UNICEF, Afghanistan has some of the worst world's education outcome. An estimated of 3.7 million children are out of schools. And that is a very bad figure that we have in the country. Now the question arises that when COVID-19 happened in the country, in the world, especially in Afghanistan, how the government respond to COVID-19. After initial cases were reported in Herat province, it means in the west of Afghanistan, the government of Afghanistan imposed a nationwide lockdown, and this includes closing all the education and higher education institutions. As part of this lockdown, what happened? The Ministry of Education did not reopen approximately 18,000 schools around the country after the winter vacation, and these schools remain closed and affecting an estimated of 9 million students, a very huge number of students were out of schools during the Corona times. And what were the response from the Ministry of Education in Afghanistan? In response to COVID-19 crisis, the Ministry of Education has in response to COVID-19, the Ministry of Education and Higher Education in Afghanistan introduced three methods of learning. The first was distance learning, and the second was print-based self-learning and small group learning. One of them, self-learning, has not been implemented because of and due to certain problems. It means logistic problems and security problems. We could not implement this method of learning in the country at all. But as many remote areas facing with the lack of radio, television, and the internet, the government has promoted face-to-face teaching approach as well. Because we have 34 provinces in Afghanistan, and we have different type of challenges in different provinces, and it was difficult to implement all the suggested and considered method of learning in the country. And then the government also made it mandatory that we have to go for face-to-face teaching. It means in small groups. Now the question is this, that what were the challenges that we have faced? Some of these challenges are common some of these challenges are common in all countries of the world, but some types of challenges are that is specific for Afghanistan, with the economy in the world. The very first challenge that we have faced during the coronavirus by our education and higher education institution was the issue of internet, because majority of Afghanistan having unreliable internet in the country, and those especially under the Taliban control, those areas having no access at all, and most of the students do not have mechanical devices. If I make it short, lack of it means having lack of access to internet, and those people that they live under the Taliban control areas, they have no access in internet, and somehow our students faced with the lack of technical and mechanical devices or internet connectivity at home. It was a very big challenge. It was the major problem that we have faced during the COVID-19 in our schools and our universities, totally by education and higher education systems in Afghanistan. What is the next challenge that we have faced during the coronavirus was education technology. It was a very big matter that suddenly after the winter vacation, the Ministry of Education and Higher Education have announced that we have to start online. It means a sudden change from traditional method of teaching to online teaching. And this sudden change faced us with tremendous challenges in education system, because no trainings, no formal trainings, and no formal program has been conducted in this regard. Trainings and resourcing was the next challenge that we have faced during the COVID-19 by our education and higher education institutions. And in that time, and even right now, it is a significant uncertainty when it comes to using online education platform, because Afghanistan newly experienced, and this was the first time that we have experienced such type of changes in our education and higher education method of teaching. And the next challenges was high cost of internet, because the students were not able to pay the cost of internet by themselves. This was a big challenge, a major challenge. Lack of electricity, as you know better, we import electricity from Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and some other countries, and we have faced lots of problems and challenges during the COVID-19 due to electricity. The students were not able to get electricity 24 hours, even not 16 hours, not 10 hours. That was a major challenge. And lack of well preparation of our system, because no one was able to know what is going to happen, what is the policy for online education, what will be the next steps to be taken by the Ministry of Education and Higher Education. These were the major challenges that we have faced during the COVID-19 by our education and higher education institutions. But on the positive side, the global pandemic has provided several opportunities to Afghanistan to give improved to this system of education. If you see from positive side, from positive angle, it was not just a challenge, it was also an opportunity, especially for Afghanistan, a country that has experienced this type of education system. The first opportunity that we have enjoyed, and the Ministry of Education and Higher Education, the people of Afghanistan enjoyed with it, turned a challenge into opportunity to build an e-learning infrastructure, because we did not have enough e-learning infrastructure in the country, but COVID-19 forced and imposed the country, especially education and higher education ministries, to come up and accept the e-learning education, and it was something, a force to build, to improve the education infrastructure. We have changed our traditional method of teaching education system of universities that can solve many problems in the field of education, and now we are able to run online classes, not only for schools, not only for universities, even the coachings, the other institutions implement such type of education systems in the country. Pandemic COVID-19 forced universities to improve their technical infrastructures. It was a kind of force that schools and universities hired some technical people. They have bought some type of technical devices for running and operating this education and higher education system. It means e-learning. Sudden change of traditional education model to online model, and enabling many people in Afghanistan higher education to learn how to use technology to communicate with their students. Before COVID-19, it means a less number of people were able to know about the online and e-learning education and higher education in the country. But COVID-19 as a force, as a tool, as an instrument, forced them to learn. It means the skills of people have increased due to COVID-19, and now majority of teachers, majority of students, majority of academic staff know how to run and operate the e-learning, the tools, the softwares like Zoom, like Google Meet and other softwares. Even our university, Khatib University, has developed and improved our own its own system of education called LMS, and it was a good opportunity for us. It was a good force that forced us to go for better solution for this problem. Even the employment strategy in Afghanistan has been changed due to COVID-19, and many universities, many schools, and many education and higher education institutions were ready and are ready to hire some technical people to run these systems, and it was a good employment opportunity as well, because most of the young people, most of the students that they have newly graduated and graduated from universities, they have been hired by the universities and education and institutions in the country. As well as what was the problem that Afghanistan is struggling and strive for many years. A student, we had to be changed from a teacher-centered to a student-centered model of teaching. It was a good opportunity for us that we have forced the students to go for research. They have to do the things by themselves after receiving the lectures through online education system. It was a good opportunity for Afghanistan, for other countries as well, that they have changed from teacher-centered to student-centered. The thing that we have struggled, the thing that we have strived for many years to be happen, and it happened during the coronavirus and the pandemic COVID-19. Despite all the challenges in the field of internet and electricity in Afghanistan, despite the lack of facilities that the number of students face, and despite the fact that online education is a new experience in Afghanistan, again, it can be that we are moving toward a digital revolution, which is our urgent need in the present age in the country's education system. Let me to tell you as a conclusion that despite all the challenges, despite all the problems that we have faced during the COVID-19, but we can consider, we can think, and we can see the COVID-19 as a digital revolution, that it was our urgent need to be happen in education system, because we have not experienced the online and e-learning before COVID-19. If it was in less figure that we did not count on it. But for right now, we can see COVID-19 as a good opportunity for education and higher education institution in Afghanistan. And this meeting is the good example and the best example of enjoying with the opportunities that created by COVID-19, that we are connected, that we have been connected with many universities around the world, around the globe, like India, like US, like Canada. We had many examples of these webinars, websites before that as well. And finally, I can say that I hope that this type of webinars can happen in the future, and we can extend our collaboration and cooperation beyond having these webinars and websites. We are very interested to have some types of agreement with AU, Munirwa, and some other universities. And let me tell you one thing, that I am a student of Munirwa. I graduated in 2013, and I'm very happy as a product of Allahabad University and Munirwa. I am here to present AU, Munirwa, and our teachers. The moment I saw Professor Mukherjee, I remembered my good days in India. Once again, I would like to record my sincere appreciation to India, to Munirwa, to Allahabad University, to all my respected teachers, that they have done lots of efforts that I can present them today. And it's a proud moment for me. It's a proud moment for Allahabad University as well, that their products and their graduates and alumni can present them. It means kilometers away, miles away from India as well. Thank you very much. And now I can call upon Dr. Vama. If there's any question, I'm ready to answer.
Thank you. Thank you. Wondrous lecture, Mr. Azizi. I'll be taking up, shall I read it for you?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. No problem.
Okay. The questions which are coming up by Nikhil Sahu, he's asking, according to you, is online education system is as effective as the traditional approach of imparting education?
If I say the reality, it is not much affected. It is not so affected. It means like a traditional type of face-to-face. It means in the classroom that we have students in the classes. But if you think positive side of this online education, it is a good solution. This is the best solution in order to replace, in order to come with quick solution for the problem. It is not the same of, I think that we have traditional type that we have students in the classes. It's not much effective like that. But as a solution, we can say this is the best solution.
Thank you. Very well answered. Shall I take the next one?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah.
So Aisha Irshad is asking, what has been the biggest challenge in recovering from the economic slowdown?
Mm,
Shall I read it again?
Although in Afghanistan we did not have long lockdown like other countries of the world, because the government has reopened all sectors, including education and higher education institutions after 3 months, not like other countries that they have gone for almost 4 or 6 months, and the restrictions were not much like other countries. But as part of the measures of solution for this problem, economic rehabilitation, as Professor Mukherjee said, we have received money, a huge amount of money from World Bank, from IMF, from other. As you know better, that Afghanistan is not so developed in terms of economic and business situation like other countries, because we have many challenges like security, like economic infrastructures. And even right now, we depend upon other countries that we have to receive foreign aids and foreign cooperation from World Bank, from Asian banks, from India. And let me to say thanks to India as well, that they have cooperated well in terms of economics rehabilitation in Afghanistan. Even yesterday, the president has signed. Yesterday, the president signed the agreement for construction of dam in Kabul. The steps have been taken by the government. They exempt the taxes for all. It means for entire year of 2020 for all businesses. They have said that they are not liable. Even the fines has been exempted by the government of Afghanistan, and some other types of aids have been provided by the government as a relief to this crisis.
Rightly said. Rightly said. I'm taking up another question. Sushil Kumar Tripathi, he's asking, what is the impact of COVID in India-Afghanistan trade and the relationship? He's asking about the trade relationship between India and Afghanistan.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Let me to answer Sushil that nothing can damage and destroy, even decrease the cooperation between Afghanistan and India, because we have very strong relationship with India. COVID-19, although had a very big impact, it means negative impact on business and economic relationship between India and Afghanistan, because newly we have started the air corridors movement from Afghanistan to India, from India to Afghanistan. It was negatively impacted by COVID-19 because most of the airplanes, due to restrictions, due to rules and regulations that has been implemented by the government of India and Afghanistan, we could not be able to move these fresh fruits and dry fruits to India and some other export items that we have in that we produce in Afghanistan. We were not able to move it to India. It was a big impact, and also some items that we can export through land ports through Pakistan. It was impacted by COVID-19. And lots of traders and lots of business entities and business personalities were affected negatively due to COVID-19. And during those 3 months, we were not able to move our exports items either through land or through air. It was finally, I can say that it had it means negative impact upon the economic and business relationship between India and Afghanistan. Even both the government bodies, both the government India and Afghanistan were trying to solve and come up with a good solution for this problem. But it was something that we cannot deny and reject, that our economic and business relationship was negatively impacted by COVID-19 and pandemic during those 4, and even right now, some restrictions are still running in the country, both the countries, Afghanistan and India, in terms of business and economic relationships.
Brilliant answer. People are asking away from the education, and you are answering very well. I appreciate this, because
Thank you.
so can I take one more question?
Yeah, for sure, ma'am, no problem.
Okay. Akarsh Sharma is asking, can foreign direct investment in education sector will help its development during this time? FDI.
Yeah, if the foreign direct investment in education sectors, although we did not have, it means example of it, just we have American University of Afghanistan here in Kabul, and still we have security challenges in entire of the country. Due to security challenges, no foreign traders and no foreign entities would like to invest in Afghanistan, and we have lost our attraction as a destination for investment here in Afghanistan. One, we can solve the security problem and security challenges in the country, then I am very sure that most of education and higher education institutions would like to have their branches, would like to open their branches in Kabul and some other provinces, because Afghanistan is a very good destination for investment. But due to lack of security, due to insecurity, and due to lack of economic infrastructures that we have in Afghanistan, especially in some provinces like West and right now in the North, we have security problems. The foreign direct investments, we cannot receive them well. But I'm sure that it will happen in the near future, inshallah.
Very well answered. You are telling the ground realities. Actually, students are not adept with the ground realities. So you are just making them just understand every aspect of it. Shall I take up another question?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Last question, I suppose, if you allow.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, Akansha is asking, what's the most potent advantage we can take from the pandemic? The most, you can say, the potent advantage we can take from the pandemic.
Of COVID-19 that we have got is, and that we have enjoyed with it, is the sudden change of traditional, even students, teachers, no one was ready, even myself was not ready to accept such a kind of big changes in the education system and higher education system. I remember those moments and those minutes that the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Jafari, has called me that you have to come to university, and we have to talk regarding change of our education system into e-learning. And we have to develop, they have ordered to the computer science faculty that you have to go and build, create a system that we have to go for, because we have to respond to the students. The students were not ready to accept such a kind of big changes, and they had a very negative mindset regarding the e-learning and education technology. From my point of view, the biggest advantage that we have enjoying right now from COVID-19 in education and higher education terms is that we have changed our tradition system of education. And right now we are able to be connected to any country that we would like to have agreements, we would like to have cooperation with them. We can go and we can run webinars, seminars, online education. Even right now, if you want, we have agreement with some universities in USA and Canada and some other part of the world. Now we can go for online classes in our master degree programs.
Thank you so much. I'm being a training and placement officer. I'm very much greedy because somebody has asked about some recruitment questions. So I'm taking up that question first. Shreya is asking, do we need some new post-pandemic matchmaking platforms for international students recruitment?
Could not catch you, ma'am. Well, is it possible to repeat it again?
Shreya, yes. Shreya is asking, do we need some new post-pandemic matchmaking platforms for international student recruitment? We should have some platform, you can say similar platform for the recruitment of the international students. Do you have such kind of platform in your university?
In our university, it means
in Kabul.
Yeah, for sure. If you're asking regarding recruitment of international students in our university, Yesterday, yesterday I received 2 emails from 2 honorable Indian professors that they are very interested to be hired in Khatib University, and even they have mentioned in the email content that we have worked before in Kabul for so many years, for almost 6 or 7 years. We are very interested, and we have this positive attitude to go for international recruitment as well. We most welcome the students from India, especially our Indian friends, to be hired in Khatib University.
And I'm taking up one more question. Some student has asked sarcastic question. He's saying he or she AK is written. So he's saying, I remember earlier we were told that we should not be using mobile so much. Now it is the time-safe technology which is helping us in education. So do you think we should be more open to the new change rather than being an obstacle? Means,
yeah, actually,
yes.
Actually, ma'am, during COVID-19, another challenge that was faced by the girls at homes in Afghanistan, because most of the girls are not allowed to use mobile phones at home very much. Most of the parents were telling them that what are you doing? It means 24 hours out of 24 hours, 20 hours you are busy with your mobile phones. But right now, I think it's a general acceptable issue and matter that the parents accepted in Afghanistan that mobile can be used positive in education and higher education issues as well. And now I think the problem has been reduced, and the parents are ready to accept that, and they allow, especially their girls, their daughters, to use mobile phones at home in education matters.
Good and collective answer you have given. So I'm taking up the last question. I won't be taking up after that because it is related to the research. So so many scholars have also been joined in this meeting. So I'm asking on behalf of them. Kartikeya Kumar has asked, as we know that technology is the future, we need to buy the technical devices which are of the high cost. And in India and Afghanistan, both, it is not affordable for the people to buy them. Do you think there should be more research and development towards making efficient and affordable technical devices on a global scale?
Yeah, for sure. Fortunately, we have a separate department. We can say a separate unit. It means the biggest unit in Khatib University Research and Development Department. We have research. We have conducted research on different issues, especially medical issues, like technological issues. I think from my point of view, it is better to do and conduct render researches on technological tools and instruments, that how can we use them in education and higher education systems, especially those underdeveloped countries like Afghanistan that is still struggling with many and huge challenges of economics and other types of challenges. I think it's this is the best way to go for research and find the challenges, the problems, and recommend some types of recommendations.
Very well answered. So it's really a wonderful lecture by Mr. Azizi. I'm really enthralled. He has talked about the problems and the challenges, unreliable internet connection, ground realities of Afghanistan. We cannot deny the role, that control of Taliban. Students don't have digital devices at home. You were talking about EdTech also. So there is a limited training and resourcing, lack of electricity, high cost of, you can say, the internet. So, but you have also highlighted the opportunities for the new approach of learning. You have also discussed about the employment strategy, so many things, so many positivity. I'm really experiencing the vibes of positivity from the country, your country. Now I am inviting Ms. Shagufa Ahmadi for vote of thanks. Ms. Shagufa is
I think Shahla Azimi is here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No
So
problem,
Azmi will be presenting the vote of thanks. Over to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ekta Sharma. Can you hear me?
Yes, very much audible.
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, I would like to express my appreciation to the speakers, Professor A.K. Mukherjee from Muniba Institute of Business Administration and Research, Allahabad, India, and also Mohammad Shakir Azizi here, speaking from Afghanistan, Katib University. So I'm very happy to be a part of this webinar. And first of all, I would like to say that, after this discussion today, I found that despite, many challenges and opportunities that we are facing, not just in Afghanistan, India, but all over the world, we have so many opportunities which we should not, we should not say that we don't have any opportunity after this crisis. First thing, that dynamic entities have been born after this crisis, along with, along as a sense of collaboration between parents, teachers, and also the communities. I know the situation here in Afghanistan, in India, and all over the world, the technological infrastructures, especially internet, is not on that level to, provide the facility to all in national level. But we can say that we did it well. It was an opportunity to bring some new experiences, to do something new, to have some new skills, especially technological skills, and use some new methods of technology. We are not just facing problems in education system, but we can say that we have, there are many reasons to be optimistic. Optimistic because we have some new, opportunities here. And especially distance education in Afghanistan, India, and all over the world is not easy. It was challenging, but I think it was a challenge for all over the world, for every people, especially for the students to use some new technologies, for parents to allow your students, allow your children to use mobile phones, especially as Shakir Azizi told that in Afghanistan it was not easy, but we did it well. And I think Corona pandemic was not just affected, the human beings, millions people killed, but it, also infected negatively the economic of India, Afghanistan, and many other countries. Many other countries are facing the same challenge and, struggling with the same problems that we are studying today. But as lockdown, cause of the lockdown, all activities, economic activities were stopped, which was a challenge to, rehabilitation of Indian economy or Afghanistan economy. It was not difficult, it was not easy, but it seems that India did it well. And India seems to, that they have worked very well. I can say that pretty well they did. And what I know and what I have learned and studied, that it shows that India is on the path of V-shape. And if this situation is stopped, this situation get normal, and the consumers spending will be pick up, and they will start using more money to purchase many more other things, and trade facilities will be more good, and it will be more more beneficial for everyone to choose and to do something new, to bring a change. It is not easy to do something new in this in this situation, but I'm happy that we all are doing very good. So thank you so much, and I appreciate everyone who is giving their time and I'm happy to be here. Thank you once again for your attention, and here I would like to close this webinar and close my remarks officially. So thank you so much for your attention, and we are hoping to have more webinars like this in future, inshallah.
Inshallah, we are having next webinar, you can say WebSem. We have named it as a WebSem. That is on 22nd February by Mr. Wahid Amin. He's a professional human resource manager. It's kind of an advertisement for my WebSem also I'm doing on this platform for the 22nd February. He's an employment specialist, job search strategist, and coach, and influencer, mentor, and fantastic management and a leader advisor. So I am inviting my students to join on that day also. And before that, I would like to thank you, Miss, but please introduce yourself. We couldn't get your name and just.
Okay, my name is Shala Azimi, and I'm a student of BBA 8th semester in Katib University.
So beautiful, so beautiful. You're so beautiful and very brilliantly you have spoken and given the vote of thanks. Mr. Azizi, I'm thanking you again for the coordination and moderations from my side. So many glitches were occurred. You can say yesterday we faced that. So anything, any last words for today's event?
Actually, ma'am, you have said that botheration. This is not botheration. It's our pleasure. Even the Chancellor of University has conveyed his everlasting appreciation for your coordination, your nice coordination, and entire team of Munirban Allahabad University. बस एक चीज कहना चाहता हूँ सबको हमारे सलाम कह देना मैम विजय सर को मौलविया सर को सारे हमारे जो फ्रेंड्स थे वहाँ जो स्टाफ में है हमारे जो ऑनरेबल टीचर्स है सबको सलाम कह देना इंशाल्लाह I have the plan to come to India and I will see them very soon inshallah after removing and after removing this distraction coronavirus. After 2-3 months, I will come to India and I will meet them personally as well. Thank you very much. And once again, although I cannot thank everyone for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of the task beyond their comfort zones, but still, I am here to convey my message through you and through Professor Mukherjee. Please convey my message to all of them and say thank you and goodbye. See you on next web summit.
Sure. Thank you and convey our regards to your Chancellor also for giving us opportunity, this collaboration with Allahabad University. We are privileged to have you all and the brilliant session we had today. I'm really thankful to everyone. I suppose we should sign off.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
I wish you a nice day, ma'am. Thank you.
Good day to you all.